You too, Genda-sensei?
What? Am I in the way?
Of course not. I didn't know you still did field work.
I figured if they could pull a fast one on Saori-kun, I'd at least want to look him in the eye.
Why are all these people here? What gives?
We've been waiting for you, Yagami-san. Mamiya-san is about to enlighten us on the truth behind the groping.
Good.
Oh, and I heard about Sawa-sensei. I'm so sorry.
Our condolences.
Looks like she got mixed up in all this when RK was chasing after Kawana. But we're still not sure why they chased him. To figure that out, we'll have to retrace Kawana's steps.
Exactly.
That said, start with the harassment charges, Mamiya-san.
Fine. Let's get this over with.
Pout all you want, but keep the answers straight. Got it?
Ihara's assault was designed to establish a false alibi for Mikoshiba's murder. So Kawana had you play the victim, and together you pulled one over on the police and the court.
Can you confirm if this is all accurate so far, please?
Yeah.
The person who groped you on the train wasn't Ihara-san himself. It was his stand-in. And my understanding is that he had conspirators to help him fabricate this event?
That's right.
What was Kawana doing at the time? Was he in Ijinsho or Tokyo?
Didn't you hear your lady friend? Ihara-san had a stand-in. And that stand-in was our sensei.
You mean Kawana posed as Ihara himself? So this Ihara was actually Kawana. Huh.
Sensei and Ihara-san have a pretty similar build. Not sure they could have pulled it off otherwise, you know?
But some spots don't look right, like his mouth. You sure that's really Kawana-san?
That part around his mouth is fake. He said he scanned Ihara-san's face and made it on a 3D printer.
Oh, huh.
You can print things in 3D now?
Well, it's a machine that takes a model's data from a computer and prints physical objects using materials like resin. So if you were to scan a person's face onto a computer, a 3D printer could accurately recreate
I don't know the details.
something like this. See, with a 3D printer, a piece of a face is pretty easy to make.
What the?
I see. His eyes are hidden behind the sunglasses, and the seams on his jaw are obscured by them.
It's incredible, I must say. With the mouth area and with the prosecution assuming he's just another
This is no time to be impressed. In case you forgot,
Assuming Kawana was Ihara's double.
I'm of the same opinion.
Okay. Which...
What do you make of this?
I mean, what's there to... The one running on the platform wasn't Ihara-san.
Meaning...
There is no more meaning. That's all there is. The stand-in turned out to be none other than Jin
Yep.
Kawana.
Good to know. Any thoughts after...
Stop it.
You're gonna look away?
I mean, yes.
Who put this video up on the internet?
Sensei did. He said from the start that once Ihara-san got his guilty verdict...
So that was all...
Yeah. Sensei can't forgive the law for his son's death was brushed aside, and that's what led them to his whole... The real victim is some bully who never got what he deserved, and the killer gets off in court by being convicted of battery. How would the public respond after finding out they'd gamed the law like that?
So Kawana and Ihara's real plan.
Seems to be going well for them. The courts are beside themselves for dragging the police.
I guess Ihara really was desperate. He was never concerned about his own punishment.
Yeah? Cop or not, nobody took responsibility for his son's death. And the courts all but ignored his case. No wonder he went along with Kawana.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Sensei and Ihara-san are the perfect pair with nothing to lose. The only ones who do are the ones speaking of which.
This came out pretty.
Uh-huh.
So the guy in the back is Kuwana
Yes. And he actually didn't lay a finger on me.
Sounds like he
I
had a
didn't.
hell of a Can you take a closer look?
That's the Ikebukuro state.
Kuwana was pretending to be a Hara. Then Kuwana w-
Right.
This piece of the puzzle still needs an explanation.
Is that...
The police examined the trace evidence on Ahara's hands after he was caught. And from the analysis, the same fibers from Mamiya-san's undergarments were found on her.
That's right. If the stand-in was the groper, Ihara-san wouldn't have touched Mamiya-san, but the evidence on Ihara-san's hands suggests otherwise.
I take it there was a trick to this, too?
That's simple. Before I got in the train, I met with the real A. That's when I had him touch the undergarments. After that, all I had to do was go to the bathroom and put them on. What the police found on Ihara-san's hands was exactly what we wanted them to find. The courts really ate it up. It was hard not to laugh sometimes, to be honest.
You're really starting to open up. That's the spirit. How should we be looking at this?
The guy getting taken down in the footage is the real Ihara-san. Sensei had all switched places with them before the scene happened.
Makes sense. There'd be no way to swap places after getting caught like that. His sunglasses were removed too.
Also, the person who tripped him was one of ours. So was the one who took the smartphone video. If nobody tried to stop him, but the most important part of it was pinning Ihara-san as the culprit out in
Right. If that didn't happen, the entire alibi goes up in smoke.
more or less.
So basically, this entire battery case was calculated from the start. How about this then?
And this is?
Before the incident, Ahara used this card to go through the ticket.
Right, and it was on October 7th at...
Thanks, Hoshino-kun.
Happy to help, Yagami.
At the earliest, Mikoshiba's time of death would have been if Ahara killed Mikoshiba in a Jinsho. He would have, and frankly, that's impossible.
That's what's dumping you?
Huh?
Sensei borrowed the card from Ihara-san beforehand and passed through the gate. Afterward, he slipped it back to Ihara-san. That way, Ihara-san ended up having the time-stamped card on him.
So even the entry time through the ticket gate was used as
It all
part of
seems
the...
so obvious now that I hear it. Nobody'd suspect that a groping was...
Yeah. And on top of all that, no one knew Mikoshiba had been killed during the trial.
Anything else?
Yagami-san, you sure that's enough?
Yeah, I think we've got plenty. At the very least, we know that the prosecution's evidence...
The courts were being intentionally misled.
Are you saying you want to read?
I am. We'll reveal Ahara and Kuwana's plot.
That might be harder than it sounds.
Why do you say that?
Well, the previous trial result as the client. If he doesn't want an appeal, there's no way doesn't matter what any lawyer tries to do.
Then we'll talk to him tomorrow. First, we need to see how he reacts to...
Sounds good. Then let's...
Will do.
So, we
Sure are.
Yo, Yagami. You sure it was cool?
Yeah,
I mean, she helped Kuwana kill all those people.
I would. Frankly, we don't have any proof of the murder.
What, so this...
Nothing directly pointing to Mamiya anyway. Which means all we can do is take her home, right?
Fine, forget it.
Come on, man, why the cold shoulder?
You wouldn't be the guy I'd call to hang out with.
Wow. Straight...
But if it's help you need, I'll be there. But only if you bow your head and ask Knight.
I know for a fact you'd help me out regardless. Thanks for the drink.
Dude, come on. That was your cue to bow and ask.
Really, guys?
So, you're recommending an appeal? I have that right? Did some new evidence come to light?
Yui Mamiya told us some things, like how you faked your alibi for Mikoshiba's murder. You wanted the sexual battery conviction, right?
Well,
Your goal was to avenge your son and
I
humiliate...
have no idea what you're talking.
Ahara-san, we have a much better grasp of the...
And what exactly have you...
Like Yagami-san just said, you're innocent. As your lawyer, I'll file for an appeal.
Thanks, but no. I'm scum of the earth. A pervert.
On the day of the crime, October 7th, at around...
Baloney. I was
Except that
relaxed.
you weren't.
Oh?
You wanted to give the man who pushed your son to suicide, and you'd miss out on that opportunity if you were at home, which is why you were in Ijincho instead. Isn't that right? You and Kawana's former student staked out Mikoshiba's house until he left. Then you dragged your prey into a car and brought him to an abandoned building in Ijincho, which would later become a murder scene. Every bone on Mikoshiba's fingers was broken. Remembering how he pushed Toshiro-kun to his death, it's no wonder you'd go that far. You tortured Mikoshiba without a shred of You inflicted no small amount of pain and terror. There's no way you weren't there.
And
You
then...
mean the whole play-by-play?
Oh, not at all.
As for what you did next after beating Mikoshiba,
It's quite a home video.
without leaving anything on Mikoshiba's body that could be traced back to you, you slit his throat. Estimated time of death was around 7:30 a.m. on October 7th. You tossed the bloody coat and made your way to Ikebukuro Station, where Yui Mamiya was waiting.
Are you sure? I was at Ikebukuro by 7:30 a.m. Would have been impossible for me to kill Mikoshiba in Ijincho.
The person in the security camera footage in the identity of whom belonged to Jin Kawana, the handyman, former high school teacher Yu Kitakata. So which name did he give you?
I don't know who you're talking about.
With Kawana in view of the security camera, you met up with Yui Mamiya at Ikebukuro. That's where you touched the undergarments she had prepared. The police would later discover the trace evidence on your head. Then you made your way to Shinjuku Station. After that, Mamiya and Kawana acted out the girl. Kawana jumped out of the train and mocked after him. And then, in the smallest of blind spots in a station absolutely packed with cameras, you were waiting for Kawana, who looked just like you. With the two of you matching, you were able to swap places in that. Kawana handed you the transit card used to pass the ticket gate. And right after the swap, Mamiya started calling for... After that, well, we've all seen how the news reported it. You were caught...
An active duty police officer arrested for sexual battery. As a result, despite it being your first offense, you were actually... The consensus is that it was a fitting punishment for someone so heinous. Even as...
Have some confidence in yourself. The prosecution, the judge, and the I'm in no position to doubt you. There's nothing I can do but abide by the rule of law.
I know what you're trying to say. You carried out the justice that the courts...
Everything my son went through was passed off like it never even happened. School, the teachers, and yes, the court. They all dismissed the reason he died.
That's when Kawana came in the picture, telling you Toshi... Or was it Kawana's words that suddenly made you want to kill Mikoshi because all of his fingers were broken while he was still alive? Was that really all just your pent-up rage?
What do you have to say, Ahara-san?
Did Kawana really tell you? No. Was Sawa-sensei the one who told you the truth? You had to have heard it from her.
Nearly hit the nail on the head.
Nearly?
After my trial, she confessed she knew about the bullying. But only to her own teacher. She had no idea.
What?
Kawana-san let me listen to that recording where I learned Sawa-sensei had been muzzled by both the homeroom teacher. That was the proof of Toshiro's bullying I'd wanted all throughout the... After hearing Sawa-sensei's words, I finally understood. They pushed my boy over the edge.
Was there no other evidence of the bullying?
Nothing. Toshiro never talked to me or my... He was bullied in middle school, too. Kids would throw his pencil case around. When I heard about it, I chewed him out.
I take it that was the wrong approach.
I can't imagine how much courage it took for him to come forward about his suffering. I'm sure he felt ashamed about it. And I should have told him I was proud of his bravery. But instead, I pushed him away. No matter. He went to a private school out in Yokohama.
And that's why you didn't hesitate to unleash.
If you say so.
So the first time Kawana showed up was when he let you listen to the phone call with...
Yes. He approached. I was in uniform when he came to me, too. Very bold. He reassured me he had already taken care of multiple individuals, like Goshiba, and that he'd urged other families to... He'd tell them that simply being branded a bully wasn't enough.
If justice can be served at one's own discretion, laws would cease to serve their function. If the law isn't fair to everyone, the law is only able to help the powerless because it can't be swayed by money.
Then tell me, what's the solution? To overlook those the law won't judge is
to render justice with confidence,
Some of the victims' families refused Kawana's offer of revenge, but even after rejecting his offer, not a one reported Kawana-san to the... Do you understand what that implies? Kawana-san presents a solution, being that the law is...
No, you're not. But we're fighting to make it as fair as we can. Laws have to change.
They don't change. Toshiro's death was murder by another name. Yet, Hiromi Goshiba even got to enroll in a teaching program. Someone like him? I'd die of old age before the law was ever written to... For Toshiro's sake, I can't turn a blind eye to... Tell me, what alternative was there to getting blood on my hands?
Yagami-san.
This is the first time you've admitted to killing Mikoshiba.
You really did your research. Unlike those... I didn't expect it to be unwrapped.
I just got lucky. There was some dirt on Yui Mamiya that Kawana could have used against her. If we hadn't found it, there's no way we would have gotten it.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, but I'm under no...
Ahara-san, you'll be sent to prison as a sex...
Of course. The charges will be confirmed, and they wouldn't be able to admit they made a... I could scream, I killed Mikoshiba.
Are you saying you intend to admit to the murder after...
Everyone's seen the video of me. It's obviously authentic. But the prosecution and the... Even if I do confess...
They
No,
wouldn't.
that's not beneath them. But I take it how they react doesn't really... All you want is to humiliate the law, don't you?
It seems you're The prosecution wanted to charge me for Mikoshiba's murder, and that would mean admitting to him. It would be chaos. Despite no... Wouldn't that just be wonderful?
I hear you. And I even get why you'd feel pretty...
Do you?
But in this case, the guys pretty much grabbed it.
What tiger?
Someone's issuing orders to the thugs in Kamurocho from behind, and they've been closing in on your partner, and Sawa-sensei got in their path. I'm sure you get the newspaper in here, right? Sawa-sensei was killed after the thugs broke into her home.
I'm aware she was killed. But... And by thugs, you...
Yeah, but we don't know why they're going at...
No way.
You think it could be because she got mixed up in your death? That's what getting away with murder. The more you perpetuate the lie, and then... Kawana killed others besides Mikoshiba. That's what brought the angry tiger into play. And if Sawa-sensei ended up paying for it, then how can you begin to believe your vengeance?
Because she gave false testimony. She lied.
She couldn't name Mikoshiba, who was a minor at the time. What's more, she was haunted by her testimony. And now she's been killed. I'm gonna clear up what happened to Sawa-sensei.
How?
By going public with everything you and... The first step is to appeal the sexual battery and...
You never groped Yui Mamiya. That's one crime you're innocent of, Ahara. The court's verdict was incorrect, so please give us the chance to appeal.
What on earth would I get out of that?
You get to humiliate the court again. Besides, what are you gonna do for the half a year?
Fine.
Yes?
I have no intention of admitting to killing Mikoshiba in court.
We won't know till we try. Let's go, Sari-san. We better act.
Yes.
Yagami-san. Sawa-sensei's death isn't, even if I have grabbed the tiger by the tail.
By that logic, you may as well admit that Mikoshiba didn't kill Toshiro-kun. Listen to me. Everything about you, about Kawana, we're gonna expose all of it. That's the only thing left we can do for.
I'm going to fill Genda-sensei in on what happened. Why don't you head over to the office?
Sure thing.
So then, Ihara admitted to...
Off the record, yeah. He also...
That sounds like you were productive.
It's enough for us to move forward with the appeal, I'd say.
Genda's?
The sexual battery and Mikoshiba's murder are the very... To clear Ihara of harassment, you only...
Ihara-san was captured on video committing the murder.
And the prosecution claims it's a fake.
They're only saying that to cover their asses.
In reality, the sexual battery evidence, at the very least, we can claim Yui Mamiya and the others.
You really think the courts will grant you an appeal for just...
Are you saying that's not possible?
I wouldn't go that far. But, Ihara, so what chance do you have even if you do it? Without any decisive new evidence, you'll just... And what good'll it do other than
To be honest with you, I feel like I've been deeply
What?
Saori-san,
Yes. As a matter of fact,
you
I am-
have every right to be.
Listen, Sensei. Ihara and Kawana devised this plan. Have we not fallen right into their trap? If we take pity on the prosecution now, we play right into...
True.
So how can we worry about reputation when our duty as lawyers...
I understand where you're coming from, and you're...
And another thing. While acting as Ihara's defense in the first... I didn't trust the person I was defending, and I felt... Ihara likely saw right through that. He probably took great delight in our myopic dedication, and I won't stand for that. I'm gonna show him
What about you, Yagami?
I know what you're really saying, Genda-sensei.
That's
Just-
right. She expects to defend a harassment, attacking the credibility of the police. And if she comes out of this with nothing,
That's a valid...
Excuse me, can I ask you two why this is even a topic?
Hey, why-
Am I wrong? Then tell me.
yeah.
We should listen to Saori-san. I understand.
I see.
Yes. Although my motivate...
What do you...
Mikoshiba's murder, the fake groping alibi, we need to shine enough light on him that the public can see what he is. And the perfect place to do it is during Ihara's...
So it's not Ihara you're after, but...
If we pursue Ihara's case, Kawana-san's action...
And if we draw out Kawana, then RK and the ones backing them will make their move. Soma from RK said Sawa-sensei knew too, which means whoever's behind them has a secret that needs to stay buried, and I need to figure that secret out. The only thing we can do for her now is make sure the ones pulling the strings pay for it.
Well said.
Genda's...
Looks like I got complacent from all the peace and quiet.
I apologize. I should...
That should be my line, Saori-kun. Get out there and do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
You heard him.
Hello?
Still in.
Yeah, why? What's up?
I'm afraid RK seems to be amassing an
Are they now?
Yeah, I can't shake the feeling that the op.
You think so? If I was Soma, I'd have left Ijincho.
I see.
Things are settling into place here, though. I'm heading back.
Wonder.
Well, now that's something. Looks like we're finally starting to see the whole picture.
Kuwana-san, or rather Kitakata-sensei, huh? And his students helped Ihara murder Mikoshiba. But there's still some things that doesn't explain.
Like what?
Like, why does RK keep going after Kuwana-san? You think that's weird too, right, Yagami-san?
Yeah. That's the piece of the puzzle that'll lead us to why Sawa-sensei got killed. Before they came to Ijincho, RK was originally looking for Shinya Kawai. But when they found out he might have been killed, they suddenly shifted gears to Kuwana.
We can guess all we want, but that's not gonna get us anywhere. They're strengthening their numbers in Ijincho as we
The
speak.
goons at the bottom rung aren't gonna be in the know on that, though if Akatsu or Soma were around, then we might get somewhere.
That's true.
Sitting around here won't get us any further. I'm quick on my feet.
Yeah, don't say that, Yagami-shi.
She had. And stay down. Hello?
It's Shirosaki. Do you have...
Yeah, what's up?
I was thinking back on our interview with Ihara-san, and something he said, so I wanted to ask you.
Which part felt off?
The part about Kuwana approaching other bullying victims. Ihara-san also mentioned that most of them rejected his offer.
Yeah, and?
Well, wasn't the first bully Kuwana killed his own, tormented by his bullies? Mitsuru Kusumoto's leap left him in a... That event was the catalyst for Kuwana's actions. So wouldn't he have approached his
Mitsuru
parents?
Kusumoto's parents.
Yes, who is currently Vice Minister of the... If she accepted or is even an accessory, there's no way she'd ever want that. With her level of influence and power, which would explain how RK's actions are being controlled.
And you think it's Rick?
You don't think Vice Ministers can control criminal organizations from the shadows?
Yeah. Tsukumo's actually looked into her before. Yeah, this is genius, Sari-san. This could
Quite
be...
a compliment coming from you.
Don't sweat it.
Yagami-san, back already?
That was quick.
Well, the day's not over yet. She might be the one behind her.
Really?
Yeah. Can you pull up the picture of her you showed me last time?
Okay. Take a look at this. It hasn't even been a full year yet.
Looks like she's still got a good rep.
Yeah, there's almost no criticism of her.
The Ministry Revolution. Bucking the bureaucracy. Vice Minister is pretty high up there.
Big time. If she really did take Kawana up on his offer, silencing him would be the quickest, and in that case, she'd need some kind of connection to him.
Some kind of connection?
Fair enough, but RK already took an innocent...
Right. And after killing Sawa-sensei, they tried... Still, no matter how dangerous the gang, then again, if someone's pulling the string, especially if that someone has Vice Minister...
Well, the internet's not gonna give us much else.
Maybe we should.
Would it really be that easy to get a meeting with someone like...
Mitsuru Kusamoto's still in a coma.
Yes?
If he's in a hospital, we can catch her by surprise.
I get you.
What's what now?
Breaking news from the net. It says
And?
It's hitting the network news too.
Wanted
person
for the
they're
murder
after.
of private school teacher Yoko Sawa in her own apartment, Kanagawa PD is conducting for the suspect.
Why are they looking for Kawana?
Shouldn't they be after Soma?
It's also surfaced that he's been using a false identity. The police are hopeful that their search will turn up some sort of...
If Kawana-san was caught on...
Yeah, I think on that note, I should have been in the footage. The police only seem to want Kawana. But why?
Ask who?
Detective Watanabe from Kanagawa PD. He was...
Been a while, hotshot.
Yeah, I guess it has. Hey, I'm curious. Do you have any...
I take it you saw the news. Kawana was caught on camera near the crime scene. Plus, he knew the victim. And if
But
that's
I
not...
saw Soma holding an ice pick up to Sawa. Plus, there were RK footprints all over the scene.
Because the big boys with big balls at HQ said so. Barking at me...
So this is all just pressure from upstairs?
Why are you so bent out of shape? Kawana's a legitimate suspect, so stick your private investigator schnoz somewhere else.
You know, you sound pretty bent out of shape yourself. I was thinking maybe we could meet up. How's a free pass to bitch about your work, Abe-san?
On the phone, in person, there's nothing I can tell you.
He hung up.
Yagamishi, I managed to focus in on the background noise. Despite all the interference, I have a good...
What?
He's
Seriously?
on the main drag in Chinatown. If you go now...
But is he even gonna listen to
Won't
you?
matter if I miss him because we sat here with...
Yagami Detective Agency.
Yagami, why are you here?
Oh, hey, Nabe-san. And you were...
It's Sakurai.
Oh,
I
right.
take it you didn't just happen to...
Let's just say some friends of mine have a real keen sense of smell.
Excuse me?
The Sawa case. Why aren't you going after RK? Or are you and you're just keeping me in the...
This isn't the place to talk. What the?
I get the feeling something's keeping you guys from doing your...
You want to say that again?
Sakurai, I gotta hit the can. Head back to the station.
Huh?
Need to take a piss, Yagami? You're looking high.
Yeah.
Then let's.
Damn. Let's see ya.
Nice spot you brought me to. Very romantic.
Well, we're about to have a shitty conversation. Might as well do it with a pleasant view.
Do the cops really believe Kawana is responsible for Sawa-sensei's death?
We wouldn't be looking for him if we weren't serious. We'd even have a warrant.
To arrest Kawana?
His real name's Yu Kitakata. He's been using a fake. And he surfaces right at the... In my eyes, he was...
What about Soma? He should have been spotted on the nearby cameras, too.
He wasn't. Let me rephrase.
What's that supposed to mean?
From the moment Mikoshiba's murder, I had a handle on things when they were just competing with Tokyo PD over who got to grill it. After that murder footage came out, it really stirred shit. Someone at the top is trying to keep details under wraps.
You're saying the whole force is in on a cover?
It started with the footage surrounding Sawa's apartment. Any footage that had the RK guys tagged in it is totally wiped.
Erase the footage. Are you serious?
Yeah. You heard me. Kawana leaving her place is all that's left. Even the parts where you show up are long gone. Before and after, The only person that the cameras pin the crime on is Kuwana himself.
Who would go so far to erase the footage? Who would do something like that?
It's time to let it go, Yagami. Mikoshiba's case and Sawa-sensei's case, they're closing the book. And to tie up the loose ends, and this is the shitty part, Kuwana has to die in an accident.
What?
Soon as they track him down, they'll put him into custody and then blame it on negligence. They'll say he resisted arrest and died in the struggle, I'd guess. Someone clearly wants Kuwana gone, and they have the power to do it.
Come on. Who could have that power?
Kuwana is clearly a target of someone higher up. Even if he sees it coming, he won't be able to stop it. As far as I'm concerned, the case is closed. You wouldn't understand until you've been on the force. When the team you're playing for is rotten to the core, all you can do is look the other way. As for me, I'll stick to the cut and dry cases for a while. That's what'll keep me an honest cop.
That's bullshit! You'll shut the lid on the trash, ignore the smell of the rot coming from inside, and go on pretending it's justice? And then you call that being an honest cop?
Asshole. Did you forget that you were talking to a detective?
You never did answer the question, Nami-san. Who had the authority to erase the security cameras? Who wants Kuwana dead so bad that they do it inside?
Even if I told you, what the fuck could you do about it, detective? Smartass! Leave it alone, Yagami. It's for your own good.
That your call? Well, I think I'll be the judge of that.
You little piece of shit! I've had enough! You dead son of a bitch! I think it's time you cooled off! Have a drink!
No, no. Let's go!
Why'd you have to butt in?
Let's do that!
Asshole! Bastard! That's what you get for poking around! Why'd you have to butt in? Cut the bullshit!
They broke the lock and forced their way into Sawa-sensei's place. That's when Soma came in. I'm sure she was terrified. They were pointing an ice pick at her. When I found her, her eyes were still open. I could see the tears. Yet the police are going after Kuwana instead of Soma. And the cops that were there know he isn't a suspect, but say their hands are tied. So it'll be my voice you hear instead of hers. And when they come to silence me, I'll know who the puppet masters are.
I hear you. And you're probably right.
And if you have any idea who might be pulling the strings, I need you to tell me before it's too late. Is there anyone on the Force who would want Kuwana dead?
The moment we opened Sawa-sensei's case, the Kanagawa brass had a suspect file ready to go. They didn't point to your guy Soma. They named you Kitakata, alias Kuwana Handyman. Hilarious, isn't it? We were the first to the scene, which means the bigwigs pulled the suspect file before it even...
Where'd the info about Kitakata?
Not sure. About the national police agencies.
Public security. Why is public security involved in Sawa-sensei's case?
Seems they were interested in RK's criminal network. You know how after the Tojo clan disbanded, the criminals started going underground? When public security would rather let RK roam free than bust them. Monitoring them quietly gives them intel on criminal movements. And even if you catch these guys, new ones will just take their place.
Wait, so they want RK on the streets? Is that why they're brushing Sawa-sensei's case under the rug?
If RK goes down in one... Purely speaking from public security's point of view, that is.
Unbelievable.
Not that they'd ever say that out in, well, public. If you believe public security, there's no way RK killed Sawa-sensei.
What the hell? Do they even have a reason?
Not that I'm aware of. On top of that, I asked Tokyo PD about no priors, no census registry, not even a damn profile pic.
Then, what does that mean?
The man known as Kazuki Soma doesn't exist, basically. Maybe that's how it's always been, or maybe it's a cover-up. They had plenty of files on Kuwana to send our way instead. They're the ones who made him the prime suspect in Sawa-sensei's case, too.
It doesn't make any sense.
Look, Kuwana's a scapegoat for RK. Public security wants to shut the curtains on Sawa-sensei's case with him. As far as they're concerned, with Kuwana silenced, it'll all balance out.
So that's what you meant by Kuwana having an accident.
Right. Better to flush your shit than keep a lid on it.
So who's running the show in public security? Do they have a name?
I wasn't told, unfortunately. I'm afraid I'm further down the food chain than you thought. Yeah, Watanabe speaking. Huh? Jinsho?
Huh?
Right. Got it. Call me if anything else comes up. Kuwana's been spotted. A witness reported seeing him in Jinsho.
Seriously?
Couldn't say for sure.
Where's he at?
Fukutokucho, in Koreatown, where the Komi Jewel hang out.
Komi Jewel?
Apparently it means spider web in Korean.
And Kuwana's there?
You're not gonna say you got that from me.
I don't have much time. You said Kuwana. I'm sure that's why you're telling me all this.
If you find him, let him know it's public security that's at.